Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll be creating a modern hero gaming section using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So whenever I click on the button, the hover effects are applied, and then whenever I click on the card, so it shows the play button. So let's get started. We have already written the HTML structure. So I've already imported the font and connected it to the CSS file. So now let's start. So we create a div, we create a div, so with the class header. So after the div, so we create a logo with the h1 tag. So we import an image, So the image I've already, the image are all in this file. So we are going to import the logo. That will be the file name is logo.png. So I'll give out the image name in the comment section. So with the logo name will be name Africa. Name Africa. So after the logo, we are going to have a container that contains the nav link and the play button. So we are going to have the UL with the class nav link, nav links. So inside the nav link, we have home. So let's copy it and duplicate it. So we have home. So I've already dropped all the scripts. So I will drop the link in the comment section. I'll drop the link in the comment section. So we have the home, games, pictures, tournament, and store with contact. So and then we have the button, which is play now. So let's come here. We have the home, we have the home, we have the games, we have the games, pictures, we have the tournament, so we have store and contact. So after the links, we have a button. So let's give it the class button. Inside the button, we have the text play now. So let's preview the website and see without CSS. So these are with link without CSS. So the image is not showing, that means there should be something, there should be error in the. Let's come back to the so inside the logo is start with capital letter. Logo spelling starts capital letter, so we use many times. That's why the logo is not showing. Let's see if I'll come back to the next page. Let's come back to the logo is still not showing. Okay, before the logo is inside the folder which is images. So we first write the images folder and then slash logo. So let's see, I'll come back to the web page. As you can see, the logo is already here. So let's type the header first before we move to the next section. So let's come back to our code. So let's go to the CSS file. So in the CSS file, we use a universal style, so which is padding 0. So we do it margin 0, box sizing, but border box. So we do it text decoration none, and then this style none. So you have already import the font. So we import the font, outfit, and robotic. So let's come back to, so the general font you are using is the outfit. So we use the font family outfit. So let's see. So now let's type the body. So the body, you have to change the background to black. The background color be black. And then here you have to add some transition. Now the transition. Let's add it 0.5 seconds. So every changes in the website will have a transition of 0.5 seconds. So now let's start the header. So the header. So let's add display text, justify content, display between, justify content between, align items to the center. So and then let's check the webpage. So the item has been aligned by the space between make the objects be, there will be space in between, so it will make use of the webpage. That is, the objects will be by the first object will be by the left, the other object will be by the right. If the object is more than two objects, so it will be the space in between will be equal. So that means space between. So let's type the logo to make it look good. So let's come back to the code. So add dot logo. So let's start the text first. So the first will be font size of 20. Let's just 30 pixels. And the color, we use this color code. We are going to use the color. So let's do something like this. So let's give it a shadow. We use the text shadow. Then system page, and then same color, the same color as the text. Yeah. And let's use the font family of everything. So now let's start the image, the logo. So let's use dot logo image. So let's give it the width of maybe is 40 pixels. So let's come back to the web page. And we still have an issue with that. Let's come back to the HTML file. So let's check. So CSS is already linked to the page. And then we haven't add the class of logo. So let's save and come back to the web page. So can you see the logo is looking like. So there's one thing we should add to the header, that means the padding of the header. So let's come back to the code. So yeah, header. We have the padding of the padding of 10 pixel top and bottom, and then 5% from the left and right. So let's start the nav links. So yeah, let's give the div a class of nav link container. So let's copy it. So let's come to the CSS file. So we are going to give it the display flex. We are going to give it the gap 20 pixel, and then so we are going to give it align items, which is center. So now let's start the nav link. So dot nav link. So let's use display flex gap 10 pixel, font size 20 pixel, font size 20 pixel. So let's give it color. So maybe the color of white, and then let's give some over effect. So thereby let's change the color to color to the so let's come back to the, so as you can see, nav bar is already looking nice. So we have to add the button, the play button. So let's come back to the, okay, so let's give it the class. So let's give it some padding of, let's 15 pixel top and bottom, and then 20 pixel from the left and right, 25 pixel from the left and right. So let's give it the border none, and then let's give it the background, the gradient background color. So let's give my gradient, no, maybe 120 degree. So let's give it the color, the green color, the 5, so, and then the second color, let's make it purple. Let's see, let's come back to the, okay. So we have to change the base color, and then add the button to make it look nice. So let's come back to the page. Please, let's use another color like this, and then B. So, and then let's give it the border radius of 1 pixel, and then the color should be white, and then the font size should be 20 pixel. Let's come back to the network. As you can see, the navbar is already looking nice. So let's add some mobile effects and make the cursor pointer. Let's come to the here. We're going to add the cursor pointer, and then for the border radius, let's make it 20 pixels. So and then let's add some mobile effects first. Let's add some mobile effects. So here we're going to add art. So let's on another effect. So let's make the color change. So we are going to copy this. We're going to copy this. We're going to paste it over here. So we are going to switch. We are going to switch the color. We are going to switch the color. Yeah. We are going to change the color direction. Let's say so whenever we come, we over so the color changes to the color change to the left color change to the right. So the header is already looking good. So now let's type the hero section. Let's come back to the code. So in the hero section, we have the heading line of unlock your game potential, and then the subtext, and then the two button. So let's come back to the code. So after the let's open this. So after the div, we are going to create a section. So let's give it the class of hero. So inside the hero, we have two portions. So the image will be by the right, and then the text will be by the left. So let's create the div for the text. So let's add the class hero class hero content. So inside the content, we'll have the h1 tag. So and then we have the key tag, which is this text. So let's copy it. I'm going to drop the link for the text in the comment section. So I'm going to paste it here, and then let's create a div. So I'm going to have two buttons here. So the first button is play now, and we have another button, of explore now. Explore. So let's give the first button the same class with the button we created earlier. So hit here, and then let's give the second button class button. So now we are going to have a neon background, a neon blue background. We are going to create a div here for the background. Let's add the class neon, the class neon. So and then after this div, we have an image type. We have an image type image. So we We have the game controller HTML. So now let's take the website. You can see so everything is just so there's text here. So you have to style it to make it look nice. Let's come back to the okay, so let's copy, let's type this row section. So let's copy it and come back to so let's add the display grid, and then we have the grid template color. We have repeat, so there should be two column, one fraction, and then let's give it the gap. Let's give it the of gap of 20 pixels, and then let's give it the padding from the left and right. Padding the padding from the top, let's give it 50 pixels, 50 pixels, and then from the left and right, let's give it 5%. So now let's start the text content. So okay, let's start the neon text. So let's give it the height of 100 page. So it will full the whole screen page. So the class, let's try the neon. Let's make it at the background. So let's give it the height of 50 pixels, and then the width of 50 pixels. Width of 250 pixels. Let's give the border radius of 50%, and then the background color of the RGB is 25561555. And then let's give it the index of 0 of -1, and then let's make it align to the left, so it will position absolute. You have to give the parent element position position relative. Let's give it left, so it will stay by the right. So let's give it the right of 30 of 10%, and then the top of 50 pixels. Let's check the so it's not showing yet. So let's come back to the code. So this is the so let's come back to the next time here. So here we are going to make it transform. So let's add the filter. We are going to make it blue, that is your 10%. So the height we have to enlarge it. So let's do it 500 pixels. So let's see, I'll come back to the web page. So maybe top, we have to do 60 pixels. So now let's type the text content. So here we have the class row content. So after we display next direction column. So let's come back to the CSS. So here you have to add the span also to style the game differently. So let's move the game text here and then let's break the this as well the break time. So let's come back to the CSS one. So here we have the text should be white, the text color white. So, and then we have the okay, I think that's also let's style the which one under it so that we got zero content, which one. So the font family of the 70 pixel. The next step, the 70 pixel is small. The next one, the next step is okay. Let's say we haven't saved. The next step is the code. Yeah. The next one, the text content. So we have the which one. My bad. Sorry. It should be font size, not font family. Font size. Let's say the so it's already looking like. So let's start the image. So I'll be the length. Let's use the image class of hero. So let's come back to the surface to style it. So got hero. So let's add the width of 90%. So to maintain the size of the grid, can see. So let's make this below circle be at the back of the image. So yeah. So let's give this image the z index of 2. As you can see. So we have to blur this circle more so to look more. So let's come to the now. Let's give it the blur of 30 pixels. Let's check it again. So I can see it's already looking like. So let's style the text completely. Let's come to the CSS file. So we have to start the span here and then the p tag. So let's come to the CSS file. So after this zero content, so I dot zero content. So we have the h1, we have the h1. So we have the span. So the span we make it the color will be RGB 25561255. So we have to drop a shadow, text shadow, text shadow, which will be same color as the. And then let's type the tag on that. So that will be the content. So and then the key. So we do font size of 24 pixels. Let's see, I'll come back to the web page. So let's style the second button. So the second button, we styled it dot button. We have to give it almost same as that. So we have to give it the padding of 15 pixels from the left, from the top and bottom, and then 25 pixels from the left and right. And then we have to remove the border. So border one, and then the border radius of 25 pixels. Border radius of 20 pixels. 20 pixels. We have to give the background color of gray, and then the color of white. So let's check the. So we have to make it cursor pointer. The cursor pointer, and then let's add some over effect. So just between. No, it's not between the button. We just add the color. Let's the background color of, let's make it more faded of gray color. Let's say I'll come back to the web page. So it's not changing. So there's a place on. Let's come back to the, okay, the flat is not correct. So let's add, as you can see, it's already looking nice. So let's make the font size more bigger. So that's the font size of 24 pixels. Font size 24 pixels. So let's come back to the page. So let's add some gap in between the text and, so let's come back to the, so this button, so let's do the class button container. So let's copy it and style it. So let's come back to, let's delete the margin top and bottom. So let's make the general margin. So from top and bottom should be 20 pixels, and from the left hand should be 0. So we have to add some game cards under the buttons. So let's create a div. So let's create a div under this content, hero content. So we are going to have a div under the button divs. So, let's make it, let's give it the class of container. So inside the div, we are going to have another div, so which will contain the cards. Let's give it the div card, the div with the class card. So Inside the div you are going to have an image. So with the image, so inside the card tag, so we are going to have another div which will be the over effect. So when the card is over, so the div will show. Let's give it the class. Let's use a span. So and then let's add a button of the, so with the class detail. So let's duplicate the card. Before we duplicate the card, so we are going to add the game name here. So inside the HTML tag, so the game name for this is realistic, futuristic, futuristic. So let's duplicate the entire div. So we have the cards here. So the second card is happy, happy Fanta and then so we have the third card is the my serious. So now let's start the card. So here let's start the container here. So with the display flex gap of display flex gap of 20 pixels. So let's add the text align items. So align items center. Now let's type the card. So the card dot card. We have the display flex direction column position relative. We have the overflow border radius of 10 pixels, and then with the border the 1 pixel solid. So the color how it will be 255, this one 255. So let's start the image in the card. That's image dot card. So we write image. So the width of 100. So now let's make it same with, yeah, let's add the for the card. So the width of the card should be 100 pixels. Let's make this 150 pixels. So the width of the card is 150 pixels. Now let's hide the button whenever we hover on the card, so the button will display. So let's come to the CSS. So under the card, so here we are going to add the cursor pointer, and then we are going to add over effect on these two. So let's add the over effect first. So that card, whenever it's over, so we add the transform, and we translate. That is y of 20 pixels. So transition will be 1 second. So whenever we hover on the mouse, it will. Now let's hide the button and make it on the right. So dot card and so we give it position absolute. So we make it just in display display flex, justify content, enter, align items, enter. So give it the width of 100% and the height of 100%. So we are going to add the background of transparent black. Let's put that black so we can edit the color code. So yeah, I'm going to make it transparent. So and then we are going to make it transform scale. The scale will be 0. So it will show whenever, so anytime the card is being over, so it will show the, so let's add some over effect on it. So whenever the card is over, so this one will display. So we are transform scale the one. So let's check the page. So as you can see, the button is not there anymore. Whenever I hover on the card, so the button will display. Okay, so let's make this text at the center and add some padding. So let's come back to the page. So yeah, so we have the HTML tag. So let's type the HTML. So that will be dot card dot card HTML. So text align, enter, and then the padding of 10 pixels. Now our web page is now looking nice. I will drop the assets that I used in the description so you can practice it and then it will be part of your portfolio. If this video is really helpful, kindly like the video and subscribe for more video like this. Thanks for watching.